Today's video is all about change. Some say I've changed. I'm going to show you that I didn't change. The Bank of Canada is changing. Some liberal policies that I have hated that have changed. And a couple little other tidbits thrown in there for good measure. Let me start with myself. Many people are saying, AJ, you've changed. You've changed. No, I haven't changed. This is my video from November 5th of 2023. At the time, Mark Carney becoming the Prime Minister was just an idea. I fully supported that idea. I felt very strongly that he would address my biggest issues with liberal policies and where Canada was going. You'll have to stick around for the end of the video to see if he did what I thought he would do in 2023. All right, the Bank of Canada recently had an announcement that they were going to change how they set the rate. This is like the most popular question I've been getting for the last week or so. Is this a good thing? Is this not a good thing? Basically, the Bank of Canada has said they're going to be more reactive to what's happening in the economy right now, and that's how they will set the interest rates. I think this is a good thing because they have shown over the last several years they are not very good at predicting where the economy is going. And I'll be the first to admit that trying to predict where things are going right now with the on again, off again tariff thing, who knows? And of course, there's uncertainty in the policies going forward. Policies that may change drastically in the near future. All right, let me preface this next little bit by saying whatever I say is going to mean nothing to your choices in this election. I've heard people go off on the polling. Like, the polls aren't going to change how you vote. This is just showing you how people are changing their opinions. It's not going to cause anyone to change their opinion. And I'm not going to change your opinion either. So let's go over my three biggest beefs with the Liberal government. Carbon tax, capital gains tax, and the population. First up, the carbon tax. I was an opponent to the carbon tax, so am I happy to see it gone? Yes. Look, it's gone as of April 1st. When April comes, if the tax is still there, then we can debate it. All right, the capital gains change. Gone. I felt the change to capital gains was a terrible idea. We had changed it in the past, and it was a bad idea back then. And the change is now. If you were expecting to pay more in tax on capital gains for 2024, you don't have to worry about that anymore. And then there's the hot button topic of immigration. And for some reason, there's a whole bunch of misinformation on this point now. I'll remind you, Mark Carney has been Prime Minister for about a week. Okay, all the stuff that I pointed out has changed in the first week. Carbon tax canceled, capital gains tax canceled, and Mark Miller fired. Do you think he got fired because he did a good job? Now, I said immigration was mishandled post-COVID. That doesn't mean I'm opposed to immigration. I was just opposed to the massive immigration that we implemented. Mark Carney's exactly the same. He's not opposed to immigration, but he has criticized recent immigration policy for admitting more newcomers than Canada can support, and has suggested implementing a cap on immigration. As part of his plan to address Canada's housing crisis, Carney's policy would cap immigration until it can be returned to its sustainable pre-pandemic trend. That has already happened. Immigration is currently capped, and it will remain capped until we get to a place where we can take in more immigrants. When that happens, we will go back to the pre-pandemic trend. People argue with me saying it's not true. They point to this guy and that guy, and he knows this guy over here, and blah, 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 blah. I'm only going to go by what he has said himself. That's what he has said. So he becomes PM, and in his first week, he gets rid of the carbon tax, the capital gains change, and the immigration problem. So do I want to change my opinion from 2023? No. Now, I expect him to continue to make rapid change. Like this. But I do expect there to be a stumbling block, and that stumbling block is housing. As I'm sure you have heard many times, Pierre Poilievre says we're going to build the homes. But is building the homes the answer? No. Let's lay of the land right now. Right now, we have too many homes on the market for the current market conditions. And new listings are falling. Why? There's uncertainty out there. The activity is below trend. You can see right there. That black line is the 10-year moving average. The activity is below trend. On top of that, we have a condo glut happening in Toronto. That hasn't alleviated housing problems. Here's the pricing trends. As you can see, having more supply than the market needs hasn't really affected prices all that much. The prices need to come down to a point where people can afford them, or people have to make more money to be able to afford these prices. Are the prices going to come down? Absolutely not. Material prices are going to go up. this trade war is going to cause an increased price in wood, as an example. And we use wood to build the houses. Mark my words, no pun intended. This housing, that's going to be the biggest problem for Mark Carney. You heard it here first.